This is the lightest gravel bike I have ever picked up. It's incredible, and to my knowledge, it's the lightest gravel bike in the world as well. It's a specialised S-Works Crux, but not any S-Works Crux. This one has been heavily modified and customised by OLEG, aka Twisted Wheels. Now I'm going to tell you everything about it, go through all the little quirks, features, modifications that have gone on this to make it as light as possible, including how he's achieved hidden cables on his S-Works Crux. We're also going to weigh it to give you the exact weight, and well, this is going to be good. Right, before we get on to the bike and telling you all about it, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed to the channel, because, well, if you like seeing crazy lightweight bikes like this and you like the other stuff that we do, then it's through your support that we're able to make this kind of content, and, well, we need your support more than ever. And also, big thanks to Oleg from Twisted Wheels for letting us to shoot his bike and telling us all about it. He has a YouTube channel too, so make sure you check that out. He's got loads of cool stuff on there. So, as mentioned, the frame is an S-Works Crux. That's specialised top-end lightweight gravel bike, but he's made the frame even lighter. So it's a size 56, and he's stripped the paint back to the bare carbon. You can still see the bare carbon finish on the rear triangle. Looks very nice. Apparently the paint that he removed was very light already. It was only around 30 grams or so. Paint finishes, not uncommon for them to be well over 100 grams for a paint finish. But what he's replaced it with is this really nice Cerakote finish. Now, Cerakote is good for a gravel bike because it's durable, hard wearing, but it's also nice and light. So we've got this nice Cerakote colour on here. And also it allows you to paint little detailed areas as well, better than normal paint. And so we've got some really nice colour coordination going on. You see the brake piston caps here and colour matched with the frame. And it just looks really smart. We've got it on the stem and the seat post too. So the frame is now just 710 grams, which is incredibly light. And then we've got the hidden cables in here. So the way that's been achieved, the normal Crux has external cables. So they've covered up the cable ports on the outside, and then what OLEG has done is routed the cables through the stem. They go down through the steerer. The front brake just goes straight through the top of the steerer tube and then pops out the bottom and then down into the fork to the piston. The rear one, what they've done is put a slot in the back of the steerer tube, but they've reinforced that carbon there and put extra carbon there to strengthen it so that it's still strong. And then the cable routes through down through the down tube. So that's how they've achieved it. But the look is just so neat and tidy. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, because on here as well, the attention to detail is astounding. It's like no stone has been left unturned in the search for saving weight and optimizing this bike. So you can see here there's a 3D printed top cap, top sort of spacer here. And then the top cap's actually the original Crux top cap, which is very light, but the bolt that's through it is hollowed out. It's an extra light one. So it's just a couple of grams. And that's the same throughout this bike. There's just all these little weight savings everywhere, but they all add up. We also have some really nice custom graphics on here that OLEG has done. So it says sort of specialised by Twisted Wheels on the head tube, which I really like. And then on the top tube here, it says, you don't have to go fast, you just have to keep going, which is, I think, a motto we can all get behind, unless you're Tadej Pogacar. He always goes fast. We've got a very light saddle on here. This is a Bjorn saddle, full carbon, bare carbon. Not the lightest though. Could go a bit lighter if you got something like a Selle Italia C59. This is about sort of 80, 89 grams. But a really cool modification is he's taken off the saddle rail clamp that comes on here and then modified it and just used a much lighter one, clamping straight on to the bottom of the seat post, or the top of the seat post, and not used the normal round clamp. And that's saved a significant amount of weight, I'd imagine. And in terms of Groupset, we're running a SRAM 1x, but because the new red hadn't come out when he was building this, he's actually got the force levers on here. But there's so much going on here. Everywhere I look, I see something new. I'm going to bring Oleg in to talk us through more of the component choices and modifications. Oleg, good to see you again, man.
Good to see you too.
This bike's incredible, right? But I have questions. So talk me through, first, let's start with the cockpit area. What's going on with this out front mount? It is crazy. it's just loads of carbon and looks really light.
Yeah, there is lots of carbon everywhere. The shifters, actually, you mentioned they are SRAM Force, but I used custom carbon clamps made by Andreas Company Design, and they shave another 20 grams of the shifters. So they actually lightened the previous generation red by 20 grams, but the new generation, like you said, it's even lighter. So you can make this bike, I can make this bike even lighter if I want to.
So that's cool that you've actually modified the Force levers to make them lighter than an older red lever.
Yeah, they are.
That is cool. So with the bar, what is the bar that's on here? Because it's full carbon, but I don't.
The handlebar is the new Beyond Cycles G-Rule, made specifically for gravel. It has flare and very short drop, as you can see.
Yeah.
And you can also put clamp-on aero bars on it if you want to, like for adventures or whatever, bikepacking trips.
So with this build, right, people will go, oh, it's a weight weenie build.
Yeah.
Weight weenies and like gravel biking. Bikes take abuse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how practical is it?
So when I was building it, the idea was to build the lightest possible gravel bike without compromising on the functionality and strength. So all components on this bike are approved for gravel. So you can take this bike anywhere. I think the only limitation would be on there is a 90 kilogram limit on the rims, and some of the components have 100 kilogram limit. But other than that, you can take this bike and go for any gravel ride or gravel race, and it will be fine.
Cool. So what are the rims that you've got on here?
The rims are Light Bicycle AR25.
Carbon spokes.
Carbon spokes and extra light Hypersmart hubs. So the whole wheel set weighs just 840 grams. This is, I think, pretty much the lightest tubeless ready and gravel ready wheel set you can build.
That is super light. And what about the rotors on here? Because they're not standard rotors.
Yeah, rotors are KCNC. I think they weigh 78 grams each. Again, much lighter than Shimano, for example.
Yeah.
And probably many people would say, yeah, but there is not much material on these rotors. But they actually work fine with the Hope 4-piston calipers.
Yep.
And both rotors are 160 millimeters rather than, I could go 140, would save another, I don't know, 20, 30 grams maybe. But this is a gravel bike. I want to take it off-road. I want powerful brakes, and I want 160 millimeter rotors on it.
Yeah, and you've got massive tyres on here as well, which I think makes it crazy when you lift it up. You expect it to be heavier just because of the size of the tyres on it. Why did you go for the Furious Freds?
They are very fast, and they are actually mountain bike tyres. They measure 49 millimeters on these rims, which is slightly more than the maximum tyre that Specialized specified for this frame. But there is enough clearance everywhere. So I'm completely fine with that. And they're incredibly light. I think each tyre is around 365 grams. Schwalbe stopped making them, unfortunately. So every time I see something on eBay, I just buy a pair, just in case I need to replace the tyres. But yeah, they're very light, they ride fast, and they're wide.
Yeah, and how much sealant you got in them? Are you cheating? Like 5 mil of sealant in each one? Keep the weight down.
Could be, yeah, make it even lighter. No, it's actually 45 millimeters of sealant in each tire.
All right. Well, fair. So other things that I can see, right, but I'm not sure what's going on. The rear mech, like that looks like it's SRAM Force, but it also, like, what have you done to it?
The rear mech is SRAM Red XPLR, which I completely modified. I took it apart completely and replaced the cage with the carbon cage made by Concept Company UK, by Chris, the same guy who made modifications on the frame and fork. So he made this custom cage. I'm using slightly oversized pulley wheels from Extra Light, so it's actually 12 and 14, so the lower one is slightly bigger. I'm also using parts from Hope carbon parts. So the parallelogram is fully carbon, and also the small bits are fully carbon.
That is crazy.
Yes, and the
The battery.
The last bit, yeah, is the battery. It's actually also a carbon wrapped battery. It's a bit small in capacity than the original one.
Look at that! A little tiny battery.
But it weighs 10 grams lighter than the original SRAM XS. And it actually looks much better in my view on the rear derailleur. The whole derailleur is much smaller.
For like a hill climb bike where you just need the battery for 5 minutes up a hill climb.
Yeah.
That's what you want. How many grams does that save?
10 grams.
10 grams. Cool. How much did it cost?
It depends whether you're taking. They don't ship directly to the UK, so I had to.
Where did you get it from?
Some Chinese website, which doesn't have English, so I had to translate it to buy this battery. But I found it on Weight Weenies forum, and some guys used it and they were happy with it. So I decided I'm going.
This is amazing.
Yeah. It took me it cost me a fortune to get it to the UK, but I think it was worth it, and it looks good.
That is so cool.
And it's 200 capacity, which is enough for like several days of riding.
That's it makes total sense to do a lightweight hill climb battery for SRAM Red. Love it. So what's the weight saving then of the rear derailleur post modifications over a standard Red?
So it's 44 grams saving in total for the whole rear derailleur.
All adds up. What's going on with the cranks? I don't know this brand. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, this is a quite new brand. This is LLE, and the model is called X90. It has fully carbon axle, and obviously the crank arms are also carbon. And I believe these are the lightest carbon cranks that are available on the market. Definitely for the direct mount chainrings, which I like. They weigh just 274 grams, and if you pair them with the Dahlback chainring, which was custom made for specifically these cranks, the total weight for the cranks and the chainring is just 344 grams. I haven't seen anything lighter on the market.
Yeah, that is. I mean, you just feel the weight of them. Like they're so light. They're really nice looking as well. I like those. They're really cool.
They are, yeah.
What's the cassette on there? Is that a rotor cassette?
No, it's actually also Dahlback, the new Dahlback cassette, 10 to 44, so the same range as the SRAM XPLR, but 100 grams lighter.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you can see it's just really hollowed out and light.
They made a great job, I think, like cutting out everything possible to make it as light as possible.
And these Carbon Works bottle cages, I've seen these before. They're like 4 grams?
I think they are 8.
8.
Still the lightest you can find on the market.
That's crazy. So what about things we can't see then? So firstly, the bearings. I'm guessing you've not left those as standard.
No. So if we talk about the headset bearing, I'm using Ceramic Speed SLT bearings with solid lubrication technology.
About 47 grams.
They actually added 4 grams to the original bearings of Crux, but...
What were you thinking?
Yes. But because everything is routed through the bearings, I didn't want to touch the headset at all.
Yes.
Ever. Because in order to change the bearings, I would have to take the full bike apart, probably spend 5 hours to put it back. So, and the solid lubrication technology, why it's good is because like they're pretty much bomb-proof, and like how I understand it, it's very difficult for water to get in.
Yeah.
And so they pretty much last forever. Should last forever, in theory.
So for those who are unfamiliar, instead of having grease surrounding the race and the bearings in the bearing, what Ceramic Speed are using is like a sort of solid matrix.
Like spongy material.
So they last a lot longer, apparently. Right.
And the bottom bracket is extra light, and I used Enduro ceramic bearings in it.
So that's a thing with ceramic bearings, is that they're often lighter, aren't they, as well, compared to
a couple of grams lighter, yeah.
Every little gram counts. Another modification I'm intrigued by, the through axles.
Oh yeah.
Should we take one out? Let's get.
I actually have a spare one.
Oh yeah. Wow. So this is one of the through axles. So this is by Overfast, and it's a carbon fiber through axle. It does have a metal machined head on the end. Are these safe?
They should be safe,
Yeah.
but we are yet to find out how durable they are.
Right. I mean, it's incredible. That's incredible light. What's the weight saving on one of these over a standard alloy through axle?
I think on both axles I saved around 30 grams.
Wow. That's
So that's like half the weight of the
Yeah,
original
it's significant. Some through axles can be really, really heavy. Something else I've just noticed while I'm down here. Bar end plugs. What's going on there?
These are sub 1 gram for a pair.
Of course they are.
Yeah. 3D printed from nylon by Licendi WW guy on Instagram. He also printed the cone spacer under the stem.
Oh yeah, that says won't stop on it.
Yeah, can't stop, won't stop. It weighs just 3 grams and it saves 13 grams compared even to the carbon cone spacer from Specialized.
Wow. So carbon, not the lightest option.
No,
That's
but
cool.
yeah, like in this place you can use nylon and like other manufacturers are making them. Obviously for other places you should use carbon, like saddles, handlebar, etc.
Yeah. Wowzers. So the details that I can see, we've got the egg beater 11 pedals on there. So all like titanium, those aren't they? Super light. You got YBN chain, flat top SRAM chain, compatible one. So that's a little bit lighter than a normal SRAM chain, right? Like it's cut
That's
out
right,
a little bit,
yeah.
so hollowed out.
And it's black.
And it's black, yeah. What am I missing? Anything else? Like any other little mods on here?
Well, the seat clamp is weighs just 7 grams and it's made by Uniper. All the bolts on this bike are either titanium, which were sent to me by T-Parts, or they are aluminium from Extralight. I think the cool thing about, you didn't mention yet, is the front flat mount.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
It's fully hollowed out, made as light as possible. It saves around 5 grams compared to the original one. It's also made by T-Parts, and I think it looks cool.
I mean, it's so cool, like all the little details and all these little bits, like it's 5 grams here, it's 5 grams there, but it all adds up. And the result is ridiculous. I mean, just now, as you were talking, I felt the wind blow slightly and the bike sort of went like that. It's ridiculous. But could you make this even lighter? And if you were gonna, how would you make it lighter?
I think the only thing I would change if I was building this bike today would be the new SRAM Red shifters. I think the rest I'd leave as is.
Yeah.
You can obviously go with the tubular wheels, but they would be not very practical in real world. Probably narrower tires, all this stuff, but like narrower cassette, smaller rotors, but this will all compromise the performance and usability of the bike, which I don't want to do.
And you have actually ridden this like off-road on gravel?
I did, yeah.
How was it?
It feels great. I mean, in my view, the weight difference feels much more on an off-road bike than on a road bike, because on a road bike, the surface is flat, and as soon as you gain the speed, you kind of like don't feel the weight difference that much. But on a gravel bike, when you're going off-road, there are lots of turns.
Constant acceleration.
Constant acceleration, stopping. You feel the weight a lot. So I'm really looking forward to taking this bike on like some adventures, and also planning to do some cyclocross racing on it in Summer League in London.
Mega, right. Well, thanks so much, man.
Thank you
It's
for
so
inviting.
cool.
Yeah.
We need to weigh it though now. Right, I'm gonna go get the scales. Before I weigh it, I'm just gonna do a quick free hub sound check for this extra light hub. It spins up so easy and quick because everything's just so light. Oh, sounds good. Nice. Oleg's got his brakes set up the wrong way around. Right, Time to weigh it. Place your bets now. What are you thinking? Oh my God, so easy. 5.6 kilos. Wow. That's lighter than like my road bike. And it's a gravel bike. Wow. So there you have it. That is the lightest gravel bike that I know of. So if you know of a lighter one, let us know in the comment section. Also, let us know what you think of this outrageous build. Massive thanks to OLEG for bringing the bike over so that we could film it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.